Sakugan episode 3 shows us that you can waste time but still keep the viewers engaged. Sort of. Instead of characters sitting around dumping exposition, like in Talked OP episode 3, Sakugan opts to build the world by showing and telling with practical examples of how the world works. But before I get into this mini review, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the show so far. Drop me a comment down below and maybe even like the video if you're so inclined. One thing that I was really excited about for Sakugan was the road trip and exploration aspect. And boy, does it deliver more than Talk to OP does with its non existent trip to New York. In episode 3, no less. What? You can do that? You can actually move the plot forward and build the world in only 3 episodes? Like I said earlier, episode 3's focus is on world building. That sounded really weird. With Gagumber explaining that the early parts of the labyrinth have already been marked and mapped by the markers. Essentially, there are red flags that serve as checkpoints and refueling stations along the way. All this is explained as they map out their own route to one of the nearby colonies. One thing that really stood out to me while watching this episode was how it felt like a video game with its exploration aspect, the camps, the marked routes, and the whole labyrinth feeling like a zone in Elder Scrolls Online or even Monster Hunter. I really like the idea that the initial part of the labyrinth has already been cleared and mapped out, so it's like a safe zone. Kinda like in Resident Evil, where you clear a room full of zombies and it's safe afterwards and you backtrack. Also a minor detail, but I love that they showed how the refueling bases worked. I always love watching stuff work in these fantastical settings, and it really helps build the world. It's the little things that really set this show apart from the rest. From a critical standpoint, though, which is what this YouTube channel is all about, this episode is the weakest of the 3. Yeah, the world building and camping is nice, but it's ultimately pointless when we arrive at a colony at the end. So all these bases and marked routes won't be coming back for a while, meaning there's really no payoff to wasting our time since they introduced this concept only to presumably go back to it way later, assuming we go one colony for a few weeks type storytelling. Plus, it's not that entertaining to see Gagumber and Memempu argue about where to go while they're making their way to the refueling station. Also, I won't write her off just yet, but Memempu is slowly showing signs of being a bad character. It's early, but so far she's still really self-centered and bratty, thinking she's better than everyone else. This results in her going off on her own and getting in trouble, but at no point did I care. And it's not because she has plot armor being the main character, it's because I thought she deserved it. Her dad gets into a fight with a giant kaiju, and she runs off on her own mid-fight, not caring about her dad, just to explore a route that she thought would work and gets a near-death experience out of it. I know it's only 3 episodes in, but I'm hoping that she learns her lesson and cools off. That's the only payoff you can have with this type of character, who's in over their head but don't realize it. Obviously, the easiest way to do this is to kill her dad Gagumber due to her own antics, and she toughens up and matures after. I thought that's what they're gonna do after episode 2 with the death of her friend. But nope. You can still keep this bickering relationship between father and daughter without making her so unlikable. Just tone it down and have 1 or 2 scenes every now and then, not the entire episode. Like, geez, I get it, they hate each other, move on already. I feel like this show is aware of this problem though, since everything Memempu does on her own ends up being trouble that she needs to be bailed out from. So fingers crossed, they do grow this character past this current superiority complex stage. That said, she seems really ungrateful and does the typical what took you so long shtick when she gets saved. At least say thanks or apologize. Gagumber is definitely the better character since he's father of the year. And Memempu is Damien Thorne from the Omen movies, though this time not played by Sam Neill. His only flaw is poor communication, but it's not helped by his daughter being so stuck up. Anyways, this is a shorter review since there really wasn't much to talk about. Personally, I found this episode okay and I did like the world building. But objectively, this was a bad one since it's ultimately pointless and Memempu's flaws are showing more than ever. Well, if you've watched this far, then it must mean you like the video, right? If that's the case, like and subscribe to this channel and follow me on Twitter. I would really appreciate it. Okay, thanks, bye.